Hi there, welcome to Angelia Travel. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share and ring the bell so you can get notified every time there's new content.
What do you do when the chief calls for you? You heed the call, of course. Chief Matsila tells us why community development is an issue close to his heart as the leader of his people.
Ndimasiare
Bobwani. Namusi Riamatsila apa Musanda Rorambiwa ngabafuwi. We've been invited by the chief to come and witness the celebration that is going on here in the Royal Crawl. Rolibuwa bafuwi orambiwa. Ndi fortunate wo mokgetli. I just wanted to find out. Today we've been going around the village, the beautiful village of Amatsila, such a beautiful place, you know, and we even went on the game drive and we saw the beautiful resort and the Bouutique hotel. There's so much beautiful development going on in this community. What inspires all of this development?
Thank you very much. We had a vision as the Matsila royal family to see our area and communities developing in terms of getting into the economic space and creating jobs and eradicating poverty. So that necessitated us to form the Matsila Community Development Trust, which is the vehicle through which we could pull resources into our area and start the development that you see. So this vision is now becoming a reality, as you can see that we have facilities that are very up to standard, that are found in urban areas. And one of the challenges we have in rural areas is to make sure that the rural areas are not neglected, and our people deserve the best of infrastructure, which we now have in the form of the farm boutique guest house, which is now a 5-star establishment, and we're very proud to have that in the village. Not so many villages have got 5-star establishments within their vicinities. I think it's one of the first in Limpopo and probably throughout the country. So that becomes a very good attraction for us, for tourists to come to our area. And it's complemented by a number of establishments, which is the game reserve which we have, where tourists can come to the village once again. To have a game reserve in the village is something that I think is unique. And it's an idea that we want to promote throughout many other villages so that people can attract tourism in the area, sustainable tourism in that sense, which would complement the accommodation facilities that we have in the area. And then the main objective, again, is to fight poverty, create jobs, and develop the economy, and lock the economy within the Matsila village and the surrounding areas, which we are doing now. Because you will see that we have got farms in cattle, sheep and goats, where the meat that comes from there is processed in our own butchery and it supplies our own accommodation facilities. We also have got vegetable farms from which we harvest the vegetables again to supply our tourism market, which means that our idea of getting the village to be a self-sustainable economic hub, it's working, because the economy is neatly locked into the area through integrated projects that relate to one another in economic and social terms. I think that's where we are.
And in terms of creating employment, why is it so important that we retain skills here in our community?
It is very important because if our members of the community are not skilled, it means that we will outsource the skills and employ people outside the area in the majority. which will work against our objective of job creation and poverty eradication. And one of the constraints for employing local people is not having enough skills to run five-star establishments like we have, to run a game reserve, to run sustainable vegetable farming and cattle farming. So that skills base we've had to create ourselves so that we can be sustainable as the community. And the part of the challenge is that most of the people that are here are young, and most of them are women. Some of them are people with disabilities, and most of the people that are here are not employed. And part of the reason that they are not employed is that there's high illiteracy levels. The skills base here is very, very low. So we have had to put up a good program to train our own people so that we can utilize them to develop their own area. So that in the end, they have a sense of belonging and a sense of ownership what is happening here. What is important is that everything that happens here is owned by the people. It's a communal and a community-driven program. You can see the Farm Boutique Hotel, for instance, is owned by one of the women who grew up here in our area. We are very proud that a woman from our own area has achieved to get a five-star boutique guest house. And I think we are starting to see the fruits of us working very hard for our land.
I love that. And please tell me, Rene Reba Venda, and why is it important to preserve our heritage and culture, even in the midst and the space of all this development that we want to bring into the community? How important is that, and how do we hope to maintain that?
Part of the strategies for attracting tourism in the area is that people are interested in the culture of the Bavenda people. So our culture is very colorful and vibrant, as you can see from the traditional dancing that is here. So that must translate into economic and job creation of opportunities. So these people who are in the space of cultural heritage in the area are self-employed. They employ themselves. It means that they are able to be also hired during functions such as weddings and ceremonies by traditional leaders like myself. We always bring them to the functions, and they earn a living out of their own culture. That is very important, and that's part of sustainability, because as long as they can earn a living from their own cultural programs and performances, their work is going to be sustainable. But besides that, traditional dancing and many cultural practices are part of our traditional heritage as the Venda people, and we're very proud of that. And we're very proud because that gives us a unique identity as a Venda culture and a Venda nation. And that identity gives pride to all the people, especially the young people. We emphasize that young people must grow up knowing themselves, knowing who they are. So when they are practicing Marende or Chikomera and many other traditional dancing, it's not only dancing. There's a lot of cultural education and heritage education associated with that, especially how do young women behave, how do young men behave, and that is very relevant today when we are battling against gender-based violence, which gender-based violence, in my opinion, it's an expression of lack of cultural values and moral values that we should instill on the young people as they grow up, because the way we were taught to grow up is that we were taught to respect women and culture. I've never seen growing up anybody fighting, instituting violence against a woman. Actually, in those days, if you were found to be harassing a woman, the whole community would really punish you harshly. And as boys, we would fight amongst each other as a sport, after which we will still be friends and we'll still work with each other, love with each other, and respect each other. So respect is an integral part of the Venda culture, and humility and honesty and integrity. That's what we are proud of as a nation. And so these foreign tendencies of people murdering women, murdering each other, they are coming in because of lack of cultural programs. So in this area, for instance, in our area here, we don't have such incidents where people behave in a manner that their moral standing can be questioned.
Really, wow. wow, what an inspiring message that we're receiving, you know, the wisdom and vision from our hosi, the chief of the Matsila community. Everything that is done in this community is by this community, for the development of this community, and the enhancement and promotion of tourism in this area. Really, really, really impressed because we have received such beautiful hospitality in this area. Stay with me on Angelia Travel as we continue to go on this beautiful journey with the Bavenda people. Can you hear that? That is the sound of tranquility. 5-star glamour right in the heart of rural Matsila village. And that's how we come to the end of another breathtaking, wonderful, awesome episode of Angelia Travel with me, Fortunate Mamude wa Mokete. Street, highway, avenue, anywhere. You don't know how far I'm going to go to unearth those hidden gems and bring them to you and bring you the most amazing experiences to enjoy here in Limpopo. Stay with me here at Angelia Travel.
Hi there, welcome to Angelia Travel. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share and ring the bell so you can get notified every time there's new content.